You are standing in a mattress store on a Saturday afternoon. 8 different brand names line the showroom floor. Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, Stearns & Foster, Serta, Simmons, Beautyrest. The signs say competitor. The price tags say premium difference. You lie on each one, and yes, they feel slightly different. But here is what the salesman will not tell you. One corporation owns Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Posturepedic. That same corporation paid $1.3 billion for Sealy in 2013. Another conglomerate owns both Serta and Simmons, both the same parent. You are not comparing 8 brands. You are comparing 3. The rest are costume changes on identical cores. Now, I want you to sit with this for a moment. That mattress you liked cost $2,400 at this store. The nearly identical one 5 feet away, under a different name, costs $1,600. The difference is not engineering. The difference is marketing. I have spent 15 years tracking mattress industry consolidation and materials science. My father was a furniture engineer before me. He taught me to read what companies hide in plain sight. By the end of this video, you will know the 3 brands actually worth buying. More importantly, you will see exactly how the markup machine works. And stay with me, because near the end, I will show you something the industry fought hard to keep quiet. It will change how you walk into any mattress store ever again. First, though, I need to show you the factory floor. Because the moment a corporation decides which corners to cut is the moment your back decides how well you sleep. Now that you know the names are a lie, walk into the factory. That is where the truth lives. A single production line builds Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Tempur-Pedic on the same Tuesday morning. The difference between them is not the frame, not the coils, not the foam core. It is the choices made before the first machine runs. I will show you what I mean. At a factory in North Carolina, I watched a foam supplier truck pull in at 6 a.m. The driver carried 2 orders, one marked budget line, the other marked premium. The budget foam is 2.2 pounds per cubic foot, nearly liquid when compressed. The premium foam is 5.1 PCF. Measure the difference with your hand. Budget foam springs back in 2 seconds. Premium foam takes 5. That speed matters. Slower recovery is a signal of durability ahead. Now, walk past the mixing vats. Here is where corners vanish. Budget lines skip ILD testing. That is the measure of firmness and support consistency. No test means no record. No record means no accountability. The coil supplier ships 2 batches to the same floor on the same day. Budget coils are Bonnell wire, hourglass shaped, hourglass cheap. Premium coils are pocketed, individually wrapped, motion isolated. But here is what most people miss. The tempering. Steel coils are heated and cooled in cycles to prevent fatigue. Budget manufacturers run 6 cycles. Premium lines run 16. 6 cycles saves $3 per mattress. 16 cycles costs $11. Over 2 million mattresses a year. That is $16 million. A conglomerate does the math. They choose 6. Next, the comfort layer quilting. Watch the stitching density. Budget line uses thin polyester batting. It compresses flat within 1 year. Premium line uses dense fiber with wool blended in. It holds for 10 years. Wool is also naturally fire-resistant. One material, two jobs. And then, the transition layer, the hidden foam between support and comfort. Premium brands use 1.5 inches of high-density foam here. Budget brands use 0.5 inches, sometimes nothing. No transition means your hips hit the coils at night. You feel it. You feel it, and you blame yourself. You bought the wrong mattress. You did not. You bought the option where the manufacturer cut the material. This is not accidental. It is structural. A corporate designer sits in a conference room and decides 6 coil cycles or 16. They decide full transition layer or half. They decide wool or polyester. They decide before the factory opens. But 3 brands refuse to make these cuts. And this is where price enters the story, where the markup machine begins its work. Now you know what factories build, and why some brands skip the expensive corners. Here is where the money actually goes. Not into your mattress, but into the price tag itself. You walk into a showroom on Saturday afternoon, and you see a Tempur-Pedic marked at $3,200. The same foam, the same coil pattern, manufactured 3 miles away, costs $1,800 under a different name. That $1,400 gap is not engineering, it is architecture. I have spent 15 years watching how corporations build a price machine, and it works like this. First, they set a fictitious number. $3,200 is not the real asking price. It is a mirage. Then, the salesman offers you a discount, 40% off, 50% off. You feel like you won, but the number you pay was always the real goal. The discount is the sale. The markup from factory cost to that final number ranges from 400 to 900%. A mattress that costs the manufacturer $300 in materials and labor sells for $2,400 on the floor. Now, where does that money go? Not to better foam, not to more coils. Private equity firms loaded these companies with debt when they bought them. Serta and Simmons, one example. They carried nearly $2 billion in leveraged buyout debt. That debt demanded interest payments. Those payments came straight from your price. Mattress Firm, the largest retailer, was bought for $3.8 billion in 2016 and collapsed into fraud. The wholesale to retail margin alone, the cut that goes between manufacturer and store, is 30 to 50 percentage points. A mattress costing $400 to make reaches the retailer at $800, then hits your eyes at $2,400. Each layer of ownership, each debt obligation, each middleman takes a cut, and the price climbs. 3 brands broke this machine. I will name them in the next moment. But first, you need to see how they did it. They refused the middleman. They sold directly to you, cut the wholesale layer entirely, and their prices stayed rational. That choice changed everything about what you actually pay for engineering versus theater. Now that you understand the markup machine, you are ready to buy, and the 3 brands standing outside it are Tempur-Pedic, Sattva, and Winkbed. Remember the twist I promised you in the opening showroom. It is this. The corporation that owns Tempur-Pedic also owns Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and Posturepedic. Yet Tempur-Pedic's own mattresses refuse to cut the corners the corporate clones do. Tempur-Pedic brought viscoelastic memory foam to America in the 1990s, adapted from NASA pressure relief technology from the 1970s. That material, genuine Tempur foam at 5 to 6 pounds per cubic foot, is temperature sensitive and contours to your exact shape under heat and pressure. The corporate mattresses, they use 2.2 PCF foam. It sags within 3 to 5 years. Tempur-Pedic refuses that compromise inside its own brand. Sattva is independently owned since 2010, and it chose a different path, coil-on-coil hybrid construction. The bottom layer is tempered steel Bonnell coils, 13 gauge, which resists fatigue and sagging for a decade. The top layer is individually wrapped microcoils for motion isolation and contouring without the foam sagging trap. WinkBed hand builds its mattresses with zoned lumbar support and hourglass coils, and here is what sets it apart. The Plus model uses 7.5 IPP high-density foam and reinforced coils engineered specifically for heavier sleepers. Over 230 pounds. Most brands ignore that segment. WinkBed did not. Here is what I want you to do when you shop. Ask for ASTM F1566 rollator test results. That standard simulates years of use by rolling a drum across the surface thousands of times, measuring foam height loss and firmness change. Most brands will not show you that data. These three will. Edge support, motion isolation, coil gauge, foam density, pressure mapping. These are the metrics that matter, not thread count or marketing language. You now hold the framework that corporate marketing has kept invisible for 15 years. Tell me in the comments, when you walk into a mattress store next, what metric are you going to ask for first? I read every comment you leave, and I want to know what changes for you now that you see how the machine works.